If I ever sank into a place where I felt like I was there to help someone, it started to feel pretty condescending and patronizing. No one had actually asked me to show up to Bagar or help them. I was based in Bagar, Rajasthan, which is in Junjunu district, and I was placed at the Grassroots Development Laboratory and the Bagar Employment Institute. And I was really attracted to the idea of their mission, which was to help build skill sets to connect local job seekers to the greater Indian market. And they had had an English class before, but that had stopped, and so I wanted to help restart that. Printed out flyers, I walked from village to village that were part of our town in Bagar. And I went to different neighborhoods and I just went door to door and talked to people and asked them if they would be interested. We started the English class, and then from the English class, I noticed that our students, they had never held a conventional job. Ultimately, that project morphed into us traveling by bicycle with a computer and a projector and a bed sheet, and we would go to different neighborhoods and small villages, hang a bed sheet on a wall, and then play an infomercial that we had produced together about BEI. And so there were so many different elements of creation that were coming together through these relationships that were naturally forming in the process of taking the next step. From that internship program, we started trying to find people job opportunities. And so we would call local employers, we would speak with our students, finding out what kind of jobs they wanted to have, and then we started placing people in those jobs. You know, for us to make the call to the employer and connect them with the student, the students were missing out on that element of connecting with the employer themselves. We didn't want to create any sort of dependencies either. We started texting the information to our students so they could handle the conversation with the employer. And so they started doing that. And then that led us to think, well, what if we did this on a much larger scale? And we started a new project called Mobile Naukri, where we ended up registering in 3 months about 1,500 job seekers, and we found 500 new job opportunities that were local. It's easy to just look at, to try to boil down what we did to some kind of metrics or some kind of quantifiable number, but everything that happened was the result of relationships and the connections that we had. And I noticed that there was a force that comes when you are approaching something from a space of love. And that's not something that I always had. I definitely had to work at it. I had to hold love as my intention. I really believe in the quote that we look to as Indicor Fellows: if you're here to help me, you're wasting your time. But if you're here because your soul's liberation is bound with mine, then let's work together. If I ever sank into a place where I felt like I was there to help someone, it started to feel pretty condescending and patronizing, because no one, and also untrue, because no one had actually asked me to show up to Bagar or help them. I was really there for myself. When I instead focused on the equality and the interdependence that me and my community, connectedness that we shared, even in those moments of hopelessness, if I trusted that, then the next step started to unfold. And I really had to stay open to what that next step could look like. I carry that with me today, that I may not know exactly what the destination is, but if the journey starts from a space of love and connection and respect for interdependence, then I know it's going to take me someplace that's going to be fulfilling for me and for the other people around me.